When the starship SS Pathfinder emerged from hyperspace into the Zalthian war zone, the galaxy held its breath. For centuries, the Zalthian Empire had been known for its ruthless expansion, leaving behind a trail of decimated civilizations. Their latest target was the vulnerable Relani system, whose pacifist inhabitants were on the brink of annihilation. The Relani had no standing army, only rudimentary defenses. Their appeals for help had been ignored by the larger galactic community, who were too afraid to provoke the Zalthians. That was until humanity arrived. The humans had only been part of the galactic conclave for a few decades, still regarded as newcomers. Most species saw them as curious, overly empathetic, and frankly too soft to be considered true players in interstellar power dynamics. But when the Relani call for aid echoed through the conclave, it was humanity who answered. The SS Pathfinder, a formidable battleship, materialized in orbit around Relani Prime, with Captain Amelia Kane at the helm. In a fleet of smaller ships, her crew of human and allied volunteers prepared for what they knew was a nearly impossible task: defend the Relani from the Zalthians, whose warships outnumbered and outgunned them. The Zalthian Admiral Cryshaw broadcast a message, his tone mocking. "Humans, I had heard of your peculiar obsession with protecting the weak, but this is laughable. Withdraw now, and I may yet spare your lives." Captain Kane calmly replied, "We're here to defend the Relani and uphold the Conclave's principles of peace. If you attack them, you'll have to go through us." Cryshaw's laughter reverberated through the comm. "So be it. Prepare to be obliterated." The Zalthian fleet advanced, opening fire with an overwhelming barrage of plasma cannons and energy torpedoes. The Pathfinder and its fleet evaded with practiced precision, launching countermeasures and dispersing their forces to draw the Zalthians away from Relani Prime. The humans fought fiercely, their ships outmaneuvering the Zalthian warships despite being outclassed in firepower. Yet, as the battle raged, it became clear that the human forces wouldn't be able to hold out forever. One by one, their ships sustained damage, and the Zalthian forces began to close in. Cryshaw sneered, confident that his victory was inevitable. Just as all seemed lost, Captain Kane did something the Zalthians never expected: she ordered a retreat. The human fleet pulled back, weaving between the Relani planets and asteroids to escape Zalthian pursuit. Cryshaw, believing his enemies were fleeing in fear, ordered his fleet to chase them down. But this was no retreat. The humans were drawing the Zalthians into a carefully planned trap. Captain Kane had studied the Zalthian tactics, analyzing their aggression and hubris. She knew they would pursue if they believed they were winning. She led them toward a nebula filled with electromagnetic storms, a phenomenon that would interfere with the Zalthians' navigation systems and disrupt their shields. As the Zalthians entered the nebula, their sensors began to fail, their ships buffeted by plasma bursts and ion storms. Visibility dropped, and communication was patchy at best. The humans, who had trained for this environment, weaved through the chaos with practiced skill, picking off isolated Zalthian ships with precise strikes. The once overconfident Zalthians were now scattered, disoriented, and vulnerable. Finally, Cryshaw's flagship, the Razorwing, was disabled by a well-placed human salvo. Surrounded and defeated, Cryshaw's ship drifted powerless in the nebula. Captain Kane hailed the defeated Zalthian admiral. "Admiral Cryshaw, your fleet is in ruins. Surrender, and we'll grant you mercy. Cease hostilities and withdraw from Relani space." Cryshaw's image flickered on her screen, his face twisted with a mixture of anger and fear. You fight well, human. But why should we believe you would grant us mercy? We would not hesitate to destroy you if our positions were reversed." Captain Kane met his gaze steadily. "Because mercy is not weakness, Admiral. We don't kill needlessly. Our strength lies in protecting, not destroying. The choice is yours: stand down and live, or resist and face annihilation." Cryshaw hesitated. His species had been bred to believe mercy was for the weak, that those who showed kindness would be overrun. Yet here he was, defeated by the very ones he had dismissed as soft. He could see the determination in the human captain's eyes. This was no empty gesture. With a heavy sigh, he gave the order. All remaining Zalthian vessels stand down. The Relani watched in astonishment as the Zalthians withdrew, leaving their system intact. For the first time, they felt truly safe, all thanks to the humans who had risked everything for them. Humanity's actions sparked something in the hearts of the Conclave's other races, a realization that strength was not solely the ability to conquer, but the courage to protect and the wisdom to show restraint. In the years that followed, the tale of the SS Pathfinder and Captain Amelia Kane became legend. Humanity's philosophy of mercy over sheer dominance began to influence the policies of the Conclave. Species who had once ruled by fear now began to understand the balance between strength and compassion, seeing that true power did not lie in overwhelming force but in the ability to use it wisely and sparingly. As for the Zalthians, they too were forever changed. Rumors circulated that Admiral Cryshaw had retired, his brutal tactics softened by his encounter with the humans. And every year on the anniversary of the Battle of Relani, he sent a single message to Captain Kane, a simple phrase that had become his new motto: mercy is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength.